you want to know how much money I made as a magician in 2023? Well, I am here to tell you. I've got a marker, I've got a whiteboard, I've got my notebook, I've got everything you need. We're going to break it down, leave no stone unturned. So if you're just here for the final figure, you can get that. If you want to know all of the different revenue streams, the ways that magicians make money, let's break it down. I did about 194 events in 2023. I say about, I did about 200. It was almost 200, so close. But I did 194 events in 2023. And if you think about it, 194 events, I don't know how that compares to like a 5-day-a-week, full-time job, but 194 events plus all the time at home. So just think about the time investment, but that's not what you're here for. We are here for cold, hard facts about money. You can see magic classes. I made $26,406 and I did 71 magic classes in 2023. That is a majority of the magic money. One-day wonders, that's what I call a private event. A birthday party, a library show, a school show, anything like that, I call that a one-day wonder. I did 19 of those for $9,758. And I also happened to do 19 theater shows. A theater show is one where I go to a theater, I rent a theater, I do a ticket split, we'll talk more about that later, and I sell tickets and people come see me. It's not one person hiring me, it is a bunch of people going out to see a theater show. And I did $7,476.19. It is important to know that all of these numbers are pre-expenses. Like the magic classes, I obviously have to buy supplies for the kids. This is just the revenue. But the theater shows, those are post-expenses. That is a post-expense number. And what that means is that the theater, sometimes I have to rent the theater, I have to pay money to rent the theater, or you have to advertise the ticket so people actually come to the show. I spend money on Facebook ads, I go in the newspaper, sometimes I have to pay to promote my stuff on the news or radio, stuff like that. The actual ticket sales, I split with the theater, sometimes I don't, sometimes I do, but there's always a portion that gets cut off and the money that comes to me is very different. So for these reasons, I do track theaters a little bit differently. So the magic classes and one-day wonders are pre-expenses and the theater shows are post-expenses, kind of. But Braden, 71 plus 19 plus 19 is not 194. No, I also have another revenue source, another income stream. 85. I did 85 foam parties last year. Not phone parties, no, foam parties. And I'll throw up a picture of what a foam party looks like. Woo, baby! That is a foam party. Look how it's so fun. But the caveat here is I don't do the foam party. So even though we did 85 at 41,370 foam parties, like I said, that is revenue. That is before any expenses. Those 85 parties, I did some of them, but most of them were done by staff members, and I have to pay each of those. So let's just say $100 per foam party that another staff member does. Like I said, I did some of them, and also some of them they get paid more than that because it's multiple hour foam parties. But let's just say 85 times 100, that's already $8,500 off of that $41,000. So you can see how the expenses stack up pretty quick. And don't worry, at the end I'm going to tell you all of the expenses, all of the revenue, which the revenue, $85,010.19. Like I said, I track the theaters very specifically. That 19 cents comes from the theaters. But 194 events, $85,010.19. And at the end, I will tell you my expenses so we can see the profit from the revenue to see what I actually live off of. Let's break it down a little bit further. Per month, on average, $7,084.18. Average per event, $438.20. But that doesn't tell the full story. I'm not getting $7,000 a month. 19 theater shows. Most of those happened later in the year because I went on tour. I did a couple in the beginning of the year, but I'm not gonna do like a big theater tour in January and February when it's cold and people just spent money on Christmas and don't have the money to buy tickets to go to a magic show with their whole family. I'm not gonna do that. And then I also have 19 one-day wonders. It is honestly, it feels fake that I have 19 theater shows and 19 one-day wonders, but that is just what happened this year. I'm trying to get out of the private shows. Not entirely, I'll still do a few. Like I did 19 this whole year for almost $10,000. That's pretty good. And we'll skip down right here to my highest paying show and my lowest paying show. I just thought it would be fun to talk about those real quick. Let's start with the fun one. The most paying show, $3,384. That was one of these one-day wonders. It was a birthday party in a luxurious space. I'm not going to say where because I don't want like anybody to see this video and figure out who I'm talking about. But it was a luxurious space in a resort area, and they had me out for a kid's birthday party. And they had the budget where I could bring my full-scale theater show. And you know, obviously it's an impressive figure, $3,300 for 45 minutes of my time. The least paying gig I've done was for $50. And that was $50 for 8 shows. Yeah. Now, granted, it was in a community theater that's about a 6-minute drive from where I live. And it was in a time where I wasn't working that much. And I just had time and I was testing out new material because I don't like to test out new material on clients that are paying me a lot of money. I want to give them a hard-hitting show that I know is going to hit, you know? This one, it's a fun story. New material, 8 shows at a time where I wasn't working. And you're like, but Braden, you make $7,000 a month. You must be working. No, that's the average. That's the average. I do work a lot, but my big busy times are during the summer. Let's check this out. I actually broke it down by month right here. January, $2,470.88. February, $7,261. March, $2,064.45. April, $2,660. May, $15,466.70. May, June, July, August, that's pretty much the entirety of foam parties. June, $16,190. July, a bit of a dip, $11,596.86. August, $13,225.86. September, $6,734.50. October, $0. We'll come back to that. November, $6,340. And December, a cool, even $1,000. I took a lot of December off, and I only ended up doing 2 shows. I did one show for $1,000, and then I did a New Year's Eve show, but they didn't pay me until like late January, so I'm counting that on 2024. Don't worry, it's not reflected in the 194 events. I'm actually counting it for an event this year just because of the way it turned out. October. What's with that? $0. Isn't that what Halloween is? Isn't that when magicians should make money? I've had a Halloween show every year, but October is when a lot of these $50 gigs were. I wasn't paid till November, and that's when the contract ended. So how I track is the show started in October, but it was 8 shows over like 4 weekends, so it went into November. So I counted that as November revenue. But you can see it is sort of spread out with those months. And I drew these charts. This is what it would be if it was just magic. Classes takes up a lot. You know, these are the one-day wonders, the private gigs, and the theater shows. And then you add foam in, and you see just how big of a revenue source that is. But like I said, it is a big revenue source. It's sort of a small profit source. I don't track expenses per company or anything like that. It's all one company. So we will get to that right now. I'm going to, that's a smash cut, if I did it right. But anyways, you can see now right here, revenue was that $85,010.19. Expenses. This is the cost for paying people, for, you know, researching new stuff. If a hose breaks for a foam party and I have to buy a new one, every deck of cards I buy throughout the year, anything like that is counted as an expense. $47,669.36. And that doesn't include the theater expenses because that's already accounted for in the $7,000 number. Those are different expenses, but big question, $85,000, $47,669.36. That is what I have to spend to keep the business running. That does not count my rent, my health insurance, my car insurance. That doesn't count anything like that. Food, grocery bills, nothing like that. Only what I have to spend to keep the business running. So what do I have to live on? $37,310.83. That is a respectable amount. $37,000 is what I profit in a year. That is enough to live on. I live in a house, I live with roommates, I don't live alone. This $37,000 is $7,000 more than my full-time job where I was working 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. That paid me $30,000 salary. This, I work about double the amount of time to make $7,000 more. No, I'm just joking. This is what I love doing. This is my absolute passion. I love bringing joy to people and making people smile. But I know you were only here for that big, that big final reveal of the numbers. So I will end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you want to see next. Let me know if you have any questions about this. I try to be so thorough and leave no stone unturned. If you want to see more cool magic tricks and facts about living as a magician, the next video, you're going to come to a show with me. It's going to be so fun. Please subscribe if you want to. Bye.